I asked on Instagram, would you like to see a video of my whole ant collection? The overwhelming majority of people who answered the poll said, heck yeah! The first video I ever published on this channel was all about my ant collection. Since then, things have changed. I can't wait to share all of my Queen Ants and Colonies with you. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Ant Keeper, where I upload every week about all things ant related. If you find yourself enjoying this video, please subscribe. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. I decided that I'm going to show you what Queen Ants and Colonies I got roughly in the order I got them in. I'll also tell you a little bit about each Queen Ant or colony along the way. The first Queen Ant I found was the Aerodynamic mcnally. Since then, this has been the most common Queen Ant I find. I actually found one today running across the road. I have noticed that there seems to be two different colours that the pavement ant comes in, both a brown and a grey coloured Gaster. If you know why there's two different colours, maybe the different species, please write down in the description below. I'd love to know why. Ideally, I would like to keep 2 colonies for myself. As you can see, I have a lot more than 2 though. I think I'm going to do a giveaway because there's just far too many to manage now. I have really enjoyed watching these queens turn into 30 plus workers. They grow so fast and they're so good for beginners. The first of 2 queens I ever bought was a Strobant. She arrived with 2 workers. Now if you watched any of my previous videos, you would know that I refer to this queen a lot, and for good reason. I messed up big time when I got her. I left uneaten food in there and it got mouldy and both of the workers died. Since then, 1 new worker has arrived though. It's slow going, but she is getting there. I can't wait to see her get back to where she was. The other queen I bought was the Fidoli ant, or the big head ant. Initially, I was afraid that this queen was slowly dying after weeks of barely moving and showing no signs of eggs, until one day I noticed a couple of workers running around the queen. What a surprise! That was a proud day. Since then, the colony has continued to grow. I can't wait to see the first soldier, the first big head ant that they're famous for. Again, the Fidoli has proven to be another great beginner ant. When I first began to keep ants, I was so desperate to have my own colony, so I decided to raid 2 colonies in my backyard, one of which was a Fidoli colony. I have a really large population of Fidoli ants in my backyard, and one colony in particular was huge. I took 40 queens out of the colony and separated 20 in each test tube. Since then, both colonies have produced eggs and seem to be doing really well. I'll continue to keep you guys updated with the progress of the experiment as time goes on. My favourite ant is the green head ant, and it's the reason why my logo is green. I have fond memories of observing the shimmering metallic green colours in the sun as a child, and I've had a lot of luck finding queen green head ants in my area. Some of these queens are developing really well with healthy brood, and as you can see, I had lots of success. It's an amazing feeling to catch a queen ant and nurture it to its first worker. I can't wait to see some workers of the green head ants soon. As you can see, I have a lot of these queens as well, so I think I'll do a giveaway with some of these too. Before I mentioned I raided 2 colonies, the other colony that I raided was the green head ant. These ants have a particularly nasty sting that will ruin your day, so I was very careful not to get stung along the way. I have featured this colony in a few of my videos. I love them, I think they're amazing to watch, and since I got them they've maintained healthy numbers, especially since they can't climb glass or plastic. They're super active and easy to keep. One thing that really stands out to me about this colony is they love to move the sand around in their outworld. Every couple of days it just seems like a completely new landscape. Next up is a Brecci Panaria. I was at a friend's house and noticed some Brecci Panaria alates in the pool. I quickly scooped them up and put them in test tubes when I got home. Since then, if I ever see a pool, I try to always have a look for alates. You never know what you'll find. I originally found 10 queens in my friend's pool. Clearly there must have been a nuptial flight at the time. But since then only 1 survived. I'm glad I was there at the right time to give this queen a second chance of life. As you can see, her eggs are developing nicely, and soon maybe we might see some workers. Time and time again I proved to myself it's worth bringing spare test tubes wherever I go. I noticed on the ground next to me there was this funnel ant walking all on her own. What's crazy about this is I was just thinking about buying one of these queen ants at the time, so this was a huge bonus for me. This queen's colours and overall shapes are just unique, don't you think? Just magical almost. I love this queen ant. I just think they look amazing. Now, what's interesting about this ant is I spend a silly amount of time looking for queen ants. Like sometimes I spend a whole day just looking for queen ants. And you know what? At the end of the day, sometimes I don't find any. In fact, sometimes I go a couple hours and I don't even find an ant, let alone a queen ant. And yet, I was minding my own business and this queen ant was just walking straight past me. It just blows my mind. I can go a whole day with looking for ants and then I can just be doing my own thing, not looking for ants, and there's one right next to me. Crazy, right? Got super lucky with this one. It just shows you got to be there at the right time. And I was at the right time for this one. Super pumped to see how she turns out. Another example of being at the right place at the right time, this queen landed on my arm whilst I was working my dog. The Chromatic Gaster is a totally unexpected find that I'm honoured to have in my collection. Isn't its Gaster just the most intense colour? Going for walks around dawn and dusk, which are optimal times for nuptial flights, have really paid off. Plus, it's much cooler to walk around that time anyway, so it's a win-win. Next up is the ant that I bought. So here is my sugar ant, the banded sugar ant. This is what she looked like when I first got her, and this is what she looks like now. As you can see, since I got her, 2 workers have emerged out of their cocoons this week. It's so exciting checking up on this mini colony to find another worker has arrived. I love this species. Their colours are mesmerising. I can watch this test tube all day if I had the time. I'm so happy to have this ant in my collection. The banded sugar ant is so cool. The golden tail sugar ant was one of the first ants I quickly fell in love with when I started ant keeping. Their golden gaster shines like honey drops in the sunlight. In my area, this is a very common species. I often see them running up and down trees and along the footpath. Unfortunately though, something terrible happened. About 2 weeks after I got the queen and 7 workers, the workers all died within 24 hours. And I was devastated. I was lost. I couldn't figure out where I went wrong. They were perfect one day and gone the next. I still don't know what happened. The queen even ate all her eggs and larvae. Totally unique. Up until then, I hadn't had anything like this. Some great news though. This queen has proven to be resilient. She has slowly recovered and began laying eggs again. Time will tell how she goes. Let's hope she'll make it. Now, I know I've said this a lot, but the meat ant is one of my favourite workers. It really is one of my favourite workers. And this queen meat ant has been doing great with a new worker that just started walking around yesterday. It looks like it won't be too long before we'll begin to see some more workers start to take their first steps in the test tube setup. I have huge plans for this colony when it starts to build up in size. I just can't wait for that to happen. Today was a special day because I actually found 2 different queen ants. I also found this little jet black Polyrhachis Australius running along beside me under a tree. Now, I've actually got 2 of these. I found another Polyrhachis Australius in my backyard. And then late, this one still has her wings on. Hopefully I'll see at least one of these 2 become fertile. Next is my Camponotus humilio colony, or commonly known as the household sugar ant. They've been growing and working hard since they were first delivered to my door. All in all, I'm really happy with this colony. Originally I didn't plan to get them, I sort of bought them as an impulse buy. They've been the perfect colony to look after. I've been very happy with this little colony, and if you're an ant keeper, and have a little bit of experience under your belt, and maybe want to step up to more of an intermediate ant, this would be a great ant for you. Highly recommend the household sugar ant. My other Camponotus colony, the Palelegged Sugar Ant, is growing in numbers, nearing the 30 mark now. I think soon I'm going to move this colony into a new setup with an outworld, since they're outgrowing their test tube. Their new home is on its way, and I can't wait to share it with you. Lastly is my most recent queen ant, my Myrmecia nigrocinta. Have a look what happened since you saw her last. A new worker has come out of its cocoon. I'm so glad to see this little colony settling in well, with some larvae growing hidden in the corner beside the cotton. I am addicted to these bull ants and I can see why everyone else is too. I'm already looking at which bull ant I'm going to get next. The way that they watch and follow you with their heads is just mind-blowing. It's amazing how intelligent they are. If you made it this far, please subscribe if you haven't already. It makes my day. I love seeing more people joining in on the ant keeping community. I'd love to know from you, which queen ant or colony in this video is your favourite? Write your answer in the description below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, happy ant keeping.